Good morning, dear students. So, we will be taking up Unit 5 from today onwards, that is Power System Stability. So, it is fifth unit of our subject Power System Analysis PSA, perhaps the last unit of your subject. So, this notes, that is slides, are already shared to you. So it is better if you can go through the topics in advance, so that whatever I explain you can understand in a better manner. So from today onwards we will be taking up the same stability analysis parts wise. The explanation follows in 3 to 4 classes, and we will be able to complete this in a week or so. Okay, so first let me define what is stability. So in fact the definitions are many, given by many authors, particularly IEEE, and then the Kimbach definitions are more standard. So stability of a power system means is the ability of the system to remain in operating equilibrium or synchronism while disturbances occur on the system. So which means you can clearly understand a stable system means even if some disturbances are happening onto the system, the system should able to retain and maintain its equilibrium. That is what we call a stable system. So stability of a power system means it is the ability of the system to remain in operating equilibrium or synchronism while disturbances occur on the system. So this is one definition. The other one, which normally I feel like having, is the stability of an interconnected power system is its ability to return back to its normal state of operation or normal mode of operation after having subjected to some form of disturbance. Okay, the stability of an interconnected power system is its ability to return back to its normal stable mode of operation after having subjected to some form of disturbance. So both definitions are more or less same. So what the definition says is stability of an interconnected power system is its capacity or its ability or its inheritance to return back to its normal means stable mode of operation after having subjected to some form of disturbance. So if there are some disturbances which do happen onto the system, but it should be able to tolerate, it should be able to regain, even if it drifts small, it should come back to its normal state of operation. That is called stability. Okay, these stabilities, to study the stability problems, these are classified into three categories. One is stability, steady state stability. Second is dynamic stability. Third is transient stability. So these are the three stabilities. First one, steady state stability, normally referred to as SSS, steady state stability. Second one, dynamic stability, DS. Third is transient stability, TS. So these three classifications, which depends on the reaction of the system with respect to the load. The first one, steady state stability, relates to the response of synchronous machine to a gradually increasing load. So here you should expect the load which varies gradually. That means the increase in load gradually, not sudden. Okay, there is a lot of difference between sudden application of load and then the gradual application of load. So it is like increasing the load means load current. Please do understand, increasing load means, many of you think that it is increasing the value of the load impedance. That's not correct. It is actually increasing the load current, which means if you imagine a loading rheostat in a circuit, the value of loading rheostat, that means the ohmic value, should be low to increase the value of load. That means load current increases if you decrease the loading rheostat. So ohmic value should decrease. So increasing load means, the concept here is to increase the load current. How do you increase load current? by decreasing the impedance of the load. So if you assume that the load increases gradually, for such gradual load increases, if the system remains in synchronism, that is called steady state stability. Okay, that means it is normal load variations, normal load changes, which are quite often. So in any movement, if you see the loads, they will be increasing and then decreasing. So such changes, if the system operates in stable mode, that's what we call it is having steady state stability. Then coming to the dynamic stability. This dynamic stability involves response to small disturbances that occur on a system producing oscillations. So you see the difference. So this is the response to small disturbances on a system which may produce oscillations. Okay. So if the oscillations are successively smaller in amplitudes, the system is considered to be dynamically stable. If the oscillations grow in amplitude, that means if they increase, then the system is having dynamically unstable, or the system is said to be unstable with respect to dynamic stability. So the source of these oscillations, how these oscillations they do happen, it is usually an interaction between control system. So the system response to these disturbances may not be quite apparent for about 30 seconds. So normally these disturbances are due to the electronic gadgets and all, which are basically the controlling equipment in the power system. So such equipment sometimes it produces oscillations, and oscillations, if they decay with time within certain duration, then we say the system is having dynamic stability. If the produced oscillations within the system, if they grow in magnitude continuously, then we say that the system is not having sufficient dynamic stability, and ultimately it may leads to the loss of synchronism. It may fall out of the step, it may lose its stability. So that is what is the dynamic stability. Then coming to the third, transient stability. So transient stability involves the response to large disturbances which may cause rather large changes in the rotor speeds, power angles, power transfers, etc. So this relates to the large disturbances. The first one, steady state stability, refers to the gradual increase in load. Second one, dynamic stability, refers to the response to oscillations. Third one, transient stability, it refers to the large disturbances in the system which may ultimately cause the changes in the rotor speeds, power angles, power transfers, and so on and so forth. The system response to such disturbances is usually evident within 1 to 3 seconds. Okay, so this is what is transient stability. I hope you could see the difference between what is steady state stability, what is dynamic stability, and what is the transient stability. The steady state stability, we take up one after the other. So steady state stability limit, if we talk about steady state stability limit, is the maximum possible flow of power without loss of stability. Okay, the power system has steady state stability if after a small slow disturbance it can regain and maintain synchronous speed. That means the load variation, if it is slowly increasing, the system, if it can operate without loss of stability, then what is the maximum value of load up to which the system can remain in stable mode of operation? That is called steady state stability limit. Okay, so likewise the values we can evaluate what is the maximum steady state stability limit of a given system. Okay, so that is the value, the maximum possible value of load up to which the system can maintain for gradual increase in load. This is very, very important. For gradual variation in load, what is the peak value up to which the system can maintain its stability? That is called steady state stability limit. Okay, so the stability influencing factors that are listed here, that means how and what are the values that influence the stability. That is, as we are observing here, initial operating conditions, then the network topology, then third one, nature of disturbances such as types of faults, fault location, and then the severity of the disturbances. These are the values which ultimately dictates the stability. Okay. Then fundamental assumptions when we want to analyze these stabilities, whether it is dynamic stability or transient stability or steady state stability, some assumptions, the basic assumptions we consider, that is only the synchronous frequency currents and voltages are considered in the stator windings and the power system. Consequently, which means the DC offset currents and harmonics are neglected. We consider only synchronous frequency currents and voltages. DC offsets we are going to neglect. Likewise, symmetrical components are to be used to represent the unbalanced faults. So as we know, why we studied the symmetrical components, it is to apply here. So we need to consider only the symmetrical component theory or Fortescue's theory to represent unbalance in the system, unbalanced impedances, and so on and so forth. Then generated voltages are considered unaffected by machine speed variations. So normally the speed variation, whenever it takes place, the voltages may change little bit, but we are not going to consider such changes. So generated voltages is considered to be unaffected. That means the values, voltages, whatever we consider, suppose if we say 1.0 per unit at all buses, we assume that it is 1.0 only, even if there is minor marginal difference. So voltages are considered unaffected by machine speed variation. So these are the assumptions. Then you just see the diagram, power system stability, that is having the three branches: angle stability, frequency stability, and then voltage stability. So these are the three terms. And angle stability, that is small signal stability, and then transient stability. Likewise, frequency stability, it is short term frequency stability, long term frequency stability. Then voltage stability refers to large disturbances and then small disturbances, which means large disturbances means short term, small disturbances long term disturbances. So these are the classifications of the steady, or the stability tree we call it. What are all the different branches of stability and areas of stability where we need to analyze and find the problems to rectify the system. Okay, so here the stability, as we were classifying in a broad sense, steady state stability, dynamic stability, and transient stability. The steady state stability, I repeat, this relates to small disturbances associated with small variations in speed. So for this, no special control action is required. So steady state stability, by its nature, the stability is going to be maintained by the system on its own without any additional equipment or additional care. So it can be assumed as a metal ball, small metal ball in a deep vessel. So you consider a narrowed vessel, and if you assume a ball in that, so it will be more or less stable. Even if you move that vessel here and there, the ball remains in its neck without any movement. So such an example we can consider for steady state stability. So time of stability is more here, and it requires no special control. Whereas dynamic stability, it refers to small disturbances associated with large time. That means this dynamic stability, it can be improved with a sort of regulators. So special equipment is required here. Time of study is considerable. That means like steady state stability, it is not that good in case of dynamic stability. You can imagine a same small ball in a vessel having wider opening, like a basin if you consider. So within that, if you keep a ball, if you disturb that vessel, automatically ball moves here and there, but finally it may reach back its normal position, which may take time. Okay, so the time of study is considerable here, and it requires special equipment if you want to maintain dynamic stability within the system. Then third one, which is transient stability, which is a tough part here. Here, large disturbances associated with small variations in speed. So this transient stability refers to large disturbances. So time of study is very, very short in this case. You can assume a metal ball on a flat surface if you consider. So even with a small variation, the ball may move out. It may move away from its area, which means the stability of the system, it is going to be not there forever if the disturbance occurs. So transient stability is more critical and more tough to analyze, because the time in which you can observe is very, very short. So transient stability is that. Then we go through the dynamic equations of the synchronous machine and all from next class onwards. So in today's class, try to see what are all the factors that influence the stability. Then what are the assumptions we are going to consider. Then different categories of stabilities, stability types, stability tree, and all these things. It is like an introductory class to the stability. Then from tomorrow onwards, we take up the dynamics and then related problems in sequence. Okay, thank you.